Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jessica. Subscribe to my channel. In honor of the first day of Coachella, I decided to create this makeup look right here, and I also put together a fun little Coachella inspired outfit for you guys. So this look is pretty much neutral for the most part. I wanted to keep it like very neutral because that's just what I personally like. I wanted to add a lot of sparkle. I also have tons of like glow going on, really bronzy skin, and also incorporated some fake freckles as well. So if you want to know how I got this look right here, and if you want to see the final outfit, then just keep on watching. I did my brows off of camera and I went ahead and primed my eyelids to get them ready for eyeshadow, so now we're ready to begin. I'm going to be starting off with the Wet n Wild Rose in their palette, and I'm going to be taking this transition shade at the very bottom. And that is going to be, as I said, our transition shade. So I'm going to take that on a big fluffy brush. This is the Sigma E35 blending brush. And I'm just going to apply this in windshield wiper motions all throughout my crease to get that base color down. Also applying some of that to the outer corner as well. Now I'm going to go into the James Charles and Morphe palette, and I'm going to be taking the shade 10% off, which is this one right here on this fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M441 blending brush. So I'm just going to pick some of that up and apply that into the crease a little bit lower than where we initially applied that first eyeshadow. And I'm also going to be applying this shade onto the outer corner and pulling it out towards the tail end of the brow and just blending it up into that transition color. Next, I'm going to go into the shade Boutique, which is this shade right here, and I'm going to be taking that on a Zoeva 231 Luxe Petite Crease Brush, and that shade is going to go right on the outer corner. Next, for the eyelids, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Stila Magnificent Metals eyeshadow in the shade Kitten Karma, and I'm going to cut my crease with this. I'm just going to use the applicator to do so, just to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to go back into the shade Boutique and just reapply that to the outer corner to try and blend some of this glitter together with the eyeshadow. Even though I know it's going to be a little bit tricky, I still want to try my best. So now on a flat angled brush, I'm going to take the black in the James Charles palette, and I'm just going to pat this on the lash line to act as a liner, so that way it can hide the lash band whenever we go in with some falsies. And to apply this, I'm just going to be using patting motions just to not disrupt any of the glitter. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Face, which is the highlighter in the palette, and I'm going to apply that to my brow bone before moving on to lashes. So now I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes off of camera and apply some falsies. The falsies that I'm going to be using today are these right here. These are the Eyelure Opulent lashes, and I just think that they're really pretty. They're long and not super duper thick, so you can still see like the eyeshadow. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these off camera, and then I'll be right back to move on to the skin. Alrighty you guys, so this is what the eyes look like with the lashes on, so now we're going to move on to the skin. For the skin, we're going to be starting off with foundation first, and I'm going to be taking the Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation. I use the shade 01 Vanilla, and I'm going to be taking that on my Sigma F80 Kabuki brush. So I'm just going to take about half a pump on my brush, and then I'm just going to start to swirl this onto my skin. This foundation is a little bit too light for me right now, but I am going to warm it up with some cream contour or cream bronzer here in a second. Now I'm going to go over the areas that need a little bit more coverage, and on those areas I'm just going to pat the brush because patting will actually provide more coverage, whereas swirling kind of just really shears it out. So I'm just going to pat it wherever I need it. To warm up the skin, I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Fit Me foundation stick in the shade 330, and I'm going to take that with my e.l.f. stippling brush. So I'm just going to warm up the cheeks first, and also bringing it to the apples of the cheeks as well, and then taking some around the perimeter of the forehead as well. And then lastly, I'm just going to take some and then apply it underneath my lip, and taking whatever's left and applying that to the sides of the nose. For concealer, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline Fit Me concealer in the shade 20, and I'm going to be buffing it out with the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Contour Brush. So I'm just going to take a tiny amount, just like 3 dots, and then just blend it out with the brush. And then whatever's left on the brush, I'm just going to bring it down to mesh together the cream bronzer and the concealer. I'm also going to take some onto the sides of my nose with whatever's left on the brush. And then taking just one small dot of concealer and applying it to the very center of the nose. And then with that brush, I'm just going to blend it straight down the bridge. Now to set everything in place, I'm going to go in with the Beauty Bakery Flour Powder, and I'm going to set my entire face, starting with the under eyes first. On my e.l.f. blush brush, I'm just going to set all the areas that need to be set. Now I'm going to just take a big round brush and just kind of go over everything with a little bit more translucent powder. For powdered bronzer, I'm going to be taking the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer on my Morphe M530 contour brush. And I'm going to just apply that to the cheeks. I'm not really trying to contour, I'm more so trying to bronze just to really warm the skin up because, you know, festivals, you're outside, so you really want to look as sun-kissed as possible. Well, at least I know I do. So I'm just gonna pretty much go in with some bronzer. So now that the skin is all nice and warm, we're gonna add a little bit of color, some natural flush, and we're gonna add some blush. So I'm gonna take MAC Melba on my e.l.f. stippling brush, and I'm just going to apply that to the apples of the cheeks, also bringing it onto the nose as well as onto the forehead. So I just really wanna like apply it pretty much everywhere. Taking a break from the skin really quick, we're going to jump on to doing the lower lash line. So I'm going to jump back into the James Charles and Morphe palette, and I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which was the first shade in this palette that we used, and I'm just going to apply that to the lower lash line and really smoke it out. Making sure that you connect it with the top shadow as well, because you don't want there to be like a disconnect and like a gap in between the shadows. So just make sure that you drag it and connect it with the top shadow as well. Now on a flat liner brush, I'm going to go into the shade Boutique, which is a color that we used on the outer corner, and I'm going to apply that to the lower lash line, keeping it as close as I can to the actual lash line. So not bringing it down too much, just keeping it really nice and close, but still blending it out. Okay, so now we're going to move on and do a little bit of inner corner highlight. And for that, I'm going to be taking the NYX Pearl Mania pigment in the shade Nude. I've had this for such a long time. I don't even know if they still make this anymore, but it's literally the most blinding highlight that I have, so I'm going to be using that in the inner corner. I'm just going to take this tiny little brush and just dip it in to the actual product itself, tap off some of that excess, and then just pop it into the inner corner. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to do fake freckles right here in this area of my face, and I'm planning on doing this with some eyeshadow. It could go very wrong, or it could all turn out great, because I have never tried this before. I probably should have tried this before I sat down to film this video, but hey, here we are. Really no turning back now. So I'm going to take the James Charles palette, and I'm going to go into the shade T, and on this little fine liner brush, I'm just going to dip into it and then tap some of the pigment off on the back of my hand and then just kind of dot in random areas. I actually have freckles, but I can't really see them that well underneath the makeup and the foundation. Okay, so now with the brush that we used to apply the translucent powder, I don't have any additional product on it. I'm just gonna kind of go over all those fake freckles that we just drew on to kind of make them look real. And I don't know, I'm winging it here, you guys, but I don't think it looks that bad. So I'm going to take some of these little rhinestones here, and I kind of like the color because it really complements the orange in the eyeshadow, and then it also matches the orange that I have going on in my Coachella outfit that I have on right now. So I'm going to cut these because right now it's a solid strip, so I'm just going to cut these individually and then kind of figure out where I want to place them. So I think I'm going to apply them right there. And these three are together. So I'm just going to take that and pop it on right there. Okay, so I went ahead and applied these little three right there on the sides just to give the eye a little bit of like, I don't know, a fun little touch. That's pretty much the rhinestones done. I don't want to do too much just because I feel like there's already a lot going on in the eyes, and I kind of like it to look a little bit more minimal like this. So now I'm just going to go ahead and apply some setting spray onto my face so that we can go ahead and do highlight next. For setting spray, I'm going to be taking the Dewy Finish makeup setting spray from NYX Cosmetics. For highlight, I'm going to be taking the Omri Z and Anastasia Beverly Hills highlighter, and I'm taking that on a Morphe M501, and I'm just going to be applying that to the cheekbones to give the skin a very blinding highlight. And also I'm going to bring that up to the temples of the forehead. Taking that same highlighter and applying it to the very tip of my nose and then to the bridge of my nose as well. And then to the chin. Then lastly for lips, I'm going to take the NYX Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Ever, and I'm going to go ahead and line my lips with that. And then for lipstick, I'm going to be taking the Maybelline 656 lipstick in the shade Clay Crush. And then the last and final thing is mascara, so I'm just going to apply some mascara to my lower lashes, and this look is pretty much complete. So this is pretty much the final Coachella makeup look. I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. And now that the makeup tutorial portion is over, I'm going to quickly show you guys a Coachella-inspired OOTD that I came up with some of the pieces I already had in my closet. Okay, you guys, so this is the Coachella outfit that I came up with. It's this little hat right here that I got at Target. I would prefer it to be black just because it would look a little bit better with this outfit, but I mean, like, it's what I had, so can't do anything about that. And then this like romper I got at Ross, I believe, like a couple of years ago. So I put this belt around it, which I got from the Goodwill, and then paired it with these little strappy shoes. So that would be pretty much my Coachella outfit if I were attending, but I'm not. And then I also just paired it with some layered jewelry, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much the end of this video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Turn on the bell notification to be notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!